I want to talk to Tom Hines. Tom Hines says, I am so tired of folks voting against their own interests. And you know what I like about a lot of the youngsters that are running for Congress? They are to the point, they are media savvy, and they know what they're doing. I ran across this article in Daily Kos that I want you guys to take a look at. This article in Daily Kos reveals or talks about what Ossoff did to Fox News. You have got to see this. You have got to listen to this. Let's go ahead and play this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Right now, we have a crisis of corruption in American politics. And since we're live on Fox, let me take this opportunity to address directly the Fox audience. We have 2 United States senators in Georgia who have blatantly used their offices to enrich themselves. This is beyond partisanship. And the reason to your question that I talk so much about health and jobs and justice for all the people is that we can unite behind that program. We've lost 9 rural hospitals in Georgia in 10 years. We can reopen them. We can invest in infrastructure to build jobs, revitalize our communities, create opportunity, raise the minimum wage so that people doing an honest week's work can not just survive, but can thrive. And yes, pass landmark civil rights and voting rights legislation to secure equal justice for all. And I humbly and respectfully request the support of everyone who is tuned in on Fox right now. And I'd love for you to log on to ElectJon, electjon.com. That's electjon.com. Make a contribution to our efforts here in Georgia.
And one more quick one while we've got you. Any concern that the allegations of wrongdoing against Reverend Warnock could possibly be a drag on the Democratic ticket next week?
None whatsoever. Reverend Warnock addressed this issue a year ago. And here's the bottom line. Kelly Loeffler has been campaigning with a Klansman. Kelly Loeffler has been campaigning with a Klansman. And so she is stooping to these vicious personal attacks to distract from the fact that she's been campaigning with a former member of the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, we deserve better than that here in Georgia. And I want to encourage everybody to make a plan to vote on Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ossoff, very much.
I don't know if you guys understand.
Peter Ducey with the Ossoff campaign there.
I don't know if you understand what it took for the producer at Fox News to try to figure out, do I cut it or is it going to be too obvious? Do I take this off the air or not? And the young reporter that Ossoff really threw under the bus. This young reporter, he knows the question that he has coming up next. He wants to disparage Reverend Warnock, right? But Ossoff did not leave any spaces and this is what I talk about young people being very good and media savvy. When you're talking, right, to these reporters, what you have to do is when they don't want to hear you anymore, they are waiting for that gap to jump in. Otherwise, it looks like you're on top of each other, right? And that's what reporters know they shouldn't do. So he goes out there, and what Ossoff did is he had a continuum of message. He continues the message. And notice how the things that he wanted to stress, how he did it. She campaigned with a Klansman. And he didn't end it there. He said it once again. She campaigned with a Klansman. She is walking around with a member of the Ku Klux Klan. And watch how he continues. He kept a steady pace and he made sure to get the message in. These 2 people are profiting from COVID. I mean, Ossoff is great in the way he used the live Fox News. Again, this was live. So he did it live on air so the entire audience got a chance to see it. And then now, of course, it goes viral because it's on Daily Kos and it's everywhere else. This is how we as progressive, or those who are progressive Democrats, are supposed to do it. They are supposed to know how to hit, and they're supposed to know how to continue to twist the hit. Ossoff gets an A+ for that one. So what I wanted to tell you, the Hines, is that you're right. These people always vote against their own interests. They vote against their own interests because of the messaging they hear from Fox News, because of the messaging they hear from their preachers, which are, in most of these preachers, I don't say this at all. I say this knowing what I'm saying. Most of their preachers are evil because their preachers know that they're hurting their pew and they continue to do what is necessary to hurt their pew because they profit from it. So these people are not bad people. These people are confused. These people were confused by selective messaging, very well designed selective messaging by the people they trust. And what Ossoff did there is Ossoff was on their channel. And by doing this on their channel, and by doing it in the tonality that he used, it made it plausible to many of those who were listening. When he talks about bread and butter issues, think about this. 9 hospitals have been closed in Georgia. We are going to reopen them. What that 1 or 2 sentences says the following. COVID is real. You know it now. You know a lot of people with COVID, and you know you have to run to other places to get hospitalization. I am going to open those hospitals in rural areas. It won't get him all the rural votes. But for somebody who's talking about that, it's going to say who has a cousin who has COVID and had to run to the city. They may say, oh, if I vote for Ossoff, I won't tell my family. I won't tell my friends. But if I vote for Ossoff, our hospital may come back. All of this is, but Ossoff doing this one time is not enough. The messaging has to be there. Politics done right has to be messaging. TYT has to be messaging. All my brothers and sisters that are listening right now have to be messaging. You know, at Daily Kos, when I write at Daily Kos as well. I'm a contributing editor at Daily Kos. And interestingly, right, a lot of times I would write an article, and a lot of people at Daily Kos would come back and say, we know that, or why are you writing this, or why are you saying this again? To which I answer to them and I say, I know you know that. But the people in Timbuktu may not. And it's not only you who reads the Daily Kos or these progressive sites. If somebody does a search on rural hospitals, and after I write the article for this clip that I'm going to take out, I am going to write about rural hospitals, and I'll put that as a key as well. And the next time somebody searches for rural hospitals, they won't only pick up Fox News saying the rural hospitals are not really necessary, or Obamacare doesn't really close a rural hospital. They will also get my Daily Kos article, my EgbertoWillies.com article, my PoliticsDoneRight.com article that says rural hospitals will be maintained if you go and vote for people who are willing to do it. Democrats. And a lot of people are going to do it. They may not tell you they are going to do it, but a lot of people will do it. That is what I'm talking about messaging. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.